And we are live. Went live a little bit early today. Hope nobody minds. All right. Got the comments up. And we are going to start with accessories now. This shows a couple of the different configurations. For example, you can move these back, tilt the head back a little bit, and slide this right over. And then it becomes kind of the jet form. Get little fins out there. Oops. Popped it off. All right. Okay. So anyway, we're going to do the accessories and possibly the base tonight. I'm not going to be on very long, so hopefully that shouldn't be a problem. All right. Let's see. I'm assuming that's for the stand mount. Okay. So let's see. Weapons. Okay. So I was one page short. All right. So weapons. All right. See, we're going to have A, B1, B2, D2, E1, F2. All right. We have A, B1 and 2, which are, these are the white ones, I believe. B2, B1, and then B2. Okay, that's F2, first one, we've done that. And E1. Pretty much everything except those two in our stack. All right, so we start off with A14, 15, and D30, D2, 38. Switch over our glasses here. All right. Turn the light on. Get the lenses set where they're supposed to. All right, so oops. Move the nippers into the stack. So 15, 14, and 15. All right, so that's these two here. Mrs. Torrin and our roommate and Mrs. Torrin's sister, brother-in-law, and nephew all went out to dinner at the Korean barbecue place we like. It was very nice. It was our thank you for being decent relatives and also helping me out on getting my car to pass inspection. And D38, which is D238 here. All right, so that's this one here. So one of the things I'm thinking I'm going to break down and get fairly soon is going to be one of the 40 kilohertz ultrasonic knives. Most of the stuff I've been seeing on Facebook is kind of like Kickstarter versions or whatever, where they're expecting, I mean, people have been expecting long shipping delays on getting it. And I've noticed on Amazon, there are similar or sometimes even the same models that are available within a couple of days shipping. So at about the same price. And I think I found a couple that are just over $100. I think those will be the ones I'll get, especially if I'm going to be doing stuff like this, where it'd be nice to be able to get a pretty decent, okay, so that orientation, and okay, so I see. be able to get nicer cuts and easier to clean up the 3D printed miniatures. All right. Let's see. Let's move this a little bit further down so you guys can see a little better. All right. And let's see. We got some stickers. 10, 11, 15, and 16. Okay. So the stickers are here. All right. 10 goes in there. Let's see if I can get this one. That should be. Oops. This one might need a little bit of assistance, but I think I've got it in position now. And then just kind of tack it down. Okay. And 11 goes around. All right. Wrap it over. And should go under there. Let's give it a little bit of narrow push through here. Get it to stick properly. All right. I think we've got it there. Close that up. All right, so got the blue sticker there. All right, then we've got 15 and 16. All right. Okay, so 15 goes on there. Ah, I see how that goes. All right, so carefully get this in place so it can fold down properly. All right, so that folds down there. That folds down there, and this folds down around that line there. And I'll have to check, but I'm pretty sure it said 14 is on the other side to match it. Does it say? Okay, so yeah, 14 matches the other side. Looks like this is the majority of the rest of the stickers. Yeah, that's probably a bit bright for you guys. Let me see if that's a little better. No, it doesn't look like it. Let's see if I can do it without it. Don't want to blind you folks or overly white balance it. Okay, that looks right. Fold down there, fold down there. And there we go. Sticker's a little off. There we go. Got it shifted before it the adhesive really starts getting a good hold on it. All right, and then 16 goes on the end here. So that's a wraparound one. Let's see. Okay. So get that to match the lines there. Wrap it around over the top. I'm actually having a lot better luck with stickers than I have had historically, so I'm actually pretty pleased with how this is turning out. Get those to line up. lay that down there one way, lay that the other so that the adhesive will hold it better. All right, that's looking pretty good. All right, then we got D2, 39, and 40. So D2 is this one, 39 and 40. So it goes there. So on the gaming table I am making, I am almost done printing it. Having problems with it sticking in the right spots. Okay, so this one goes there. Kind of a little pivoting thing. And this goes here in the barrel. There we go. All right. Then when we look at it this way, we did 14, so 12 goes on here and 13 over here. So let's see, 12. Lost my train of thought. Okay, so 12 goes here. Oh, 3D printed table. Oh, yes, I was having problems with the print sticking in the some of the spots, and they'd kind of curl up, and it would be a pain in the butt and not print right. And it looks like I got it fixed by getting another build plate. Fortunately, they aren't that expensive. Came in on Sunday, spent like about 3 hours or so calibrating everything again, because I don't want to have what happened to me one time in the past where the angle was just a bit off. There we go. One time in the past where the when I had a new build plate and I was trying to get it set up and I was rushing the calibrations, what wound up happening is I scraped the print head across in a couple of lines, which wasn't actually where I was having the problem with the build plate. But it's better not to do that than to do it and regret it as time goes on. So I'm happy to say that I did not do that, and the build plate is sticking great. I'm getting nice crisp corners on stuff that I'm printing, which is nice, and I don't have any spots that aren't like holding down. So we'll have to see how that goes, if I can keep that going. But I might go ahead and order another build plate in a couple of weeks and have that as a hot standby if needed. Okay, so that sticker's on there, 12, 13, and 14. All right, and okay, I see what's going on here. All right, so the way this works is we take back of the hand off. Actually, let's just take the hand out. Take the back of the hand off. And if I can, there we go. And then this fits on here. And put back of the hand back on. There we go. And there we go. It's got its gun. Okay, so that's everything there. Avoid colliding with backpack parts. I see. You can also have it stored on the back, attached there. I'll leave it on where it is for the moment. All right, and let's see. Shield looks like. Um, okay. All right, so F211. Ah, okay, I see how that goes. All right, so F211, which is these long ones here. Okay. All right, let's careful with these. I don't want them to look ugly. Go. Let's go ahead and pop these off first. Hey, Gwen, good to see you on. I see your note. I'll catch up with chat in just a little bit. It's good to have you here. Okay, so these are energy spikes, and the way they work is these parts here come off, and then these get stuck in the ends. And these pieces get stuck in the center here and becomes a Darth Maul type energy staff. And the other hand holds it. Same basic thing. Looks like it's a take the hand off here real quick again. And get that back. Doesn't really hold in the center all that well. Guess you got to kind of tilt it a little bit. Oops, he's now got energy staff and the thing on the the backpack. Take that off for a second, and the gun goes there. That tilts out just a little bit, and the backpack can go back over it. There we go. Just have to be careful not to let the backpack parts hit it, so these get angled up a little bit, or angled out a little bit. Let's do that first. So there we go. Now, oops. Let's try this again. I think I see part of the issue. The arms need to be pointed more that way. Yeah. Got one a bit too far with that. There we go. And make sure that's on securely. Yeah, there's only so far you can tilt that backpack up. There we go. All right. So I think this is the final accessory, A20 and 19, which are these shoe parts here. So I don't know if I've mentioned it when you were on air, Gwen, or in chat, but I'm thinking what I'm going to do for the members, and they'll help kind of clear out some of the space around here, so it's a less stressful to Mrs. Torn for all the stuff I've been building. Is I think maybe like on a monthly basis, I'll pick do like a random drawing for the members, and then ask them to like email me. I'll give them a number, and then they've got to like give it back to me in chat later on, and then that way I'll know that I've got the right person and get them send them something that I've built. All right, A19, A20. Fairly obvious how this fits together. There we go. Then we've got B22. Okay, B1 and B2, 22. Pretty sure this is it. Yep. Okay. And I do believe that's everything on that one, so I can toss that to the side. And there we go. Now that is, nope, that's, did I miss something on that one? Or is that only on this side? Okay, I think that's an extra hand back. Yep, that's an extra hand back. Okay, so that one's not all the way tossed. So put that in there. And then these, okay, going that way. Okay. Oops. Is that the right spot for them? It says they click. Ah, I see where it goes. There we go. Click. And click. All right, so they go in there. And cut out cleanly E1, A7, and 8. Okay. All right, that's A7 and 8. And E1. E1, E1. Okay. So the way these work is that goes there, and this goes through, and there. Okay. This goes on the front here, and those two slide down here. Did I get that too far? Ah, there we go. There we go. All right, so those go together like that. Okay, D41. Let's see. This thing, though, goes okay, so that rotates 90 degrees and goes back on. Okay, I think that's the way that goes. All right, and D241. D2, 41. That off. All right, so that goes on like that. And fits on here. That. Okay. And F2, 12 and 13. All right, so I'm going to take that off real quick. F2, 12 and 13. Okay. Knit these carefully. And 13. Looks like they come off here. Here. Whoops. There. All right, and 11, 12, okay, 11, 12, 13. All right, that's everything on that one. And these go in these spots here and, oops, here and there. These spots there and there. And this one goes here. So we have okay, model is compatible with the Action Base 7 sold separately. Hope that's the one I got. All right, and alternate for that is this blue energy shield here, A22. There we go. Okay. That looks like that's everything on that one. All right, so A22. So instead of having this thing on here, this arm, we take that off if we can. There we go. It lost its hand. Oh no. It's going to need a good surgeon. Fortunately, Dr. Torin is here. Hopefully his Gundam repair license has not been revoked yet. There we go. It's off. And then this comes off here. Is that a slider or? It just comes off directly. And fits in there. And go. We have an energy shield there. So we'll leave it like that. This will be, I can put that on the base later. Anything else? All right, so looks like that's just different orientations. We can have the shoulder guns pointing forward. Wings get spread out there. All right, MA form. Okay. So apparently this thing will also work as, attach this. All right, so take that off, and these things that we work to get apart, we'll go ahead and separate again. And this goes like that. And that fits in there. And that also, let's see. Where does that get added on? Ah, D242. All right. All right, so that's this one here. All right, I think that's everything on the D2. So I'll set that aside. So just taking off the backpack for a bit. This fits in here. And then this goes here. And we have an undercarriage mounted, well, there we go. Yeah, actually locks in there. We have an undercarriage mounted cannon. Okay. Let's go ahead and take this off for the moment. Okay. And let's go ahead and put this back on. And let's see if we see, how does that do that? Okay, so okay. So these get up here. So these, okay, so these go down. I got it. Okay. So these come down like this. Okay, so yeah, they come up here and they got a fold here. So we've got cannons. Just got to get that arm down. And rail guns that mount like that. So it's a mobile artillery thing. All right, let's just put this back for now. I think that's everything for here. Put the backpack on. Set that aside. All right, anything on this one here? Looks like E's done too. Okay, and that's the base connector there. All right, so different configurations there. Anything left on this one? That's got the hand back spare thing. Extra hand here. And anything on this one? Nope, looks like that one's cleared out. Okay, so let's set this out of the way for the moment. Any stickers left to go? I do believe that is all the stickers, so set these out of the way. Let me catch up with chat. And then we'll get into what I have gathered since the last time I've been on. All right. So Gwen says, hello, sorry a little late tonight. No worries on that. Gwen says, that sounds like a good idea. And Gwen says, please hit the like button, double check your subscriptions, and ring that bell for all notifications. And Melee's on. Melee, hey, sorry I'm late. I'm at the gym. No worries for that, Melee. It's good to have you on. All right. So this is the Action Base Black. It says it's 7. So, or 7 was one we're getting, and this is 4. All right, so, peg type holder, U-shaped holder. All right, so hopefully it'll work. All right, let's see. While got things out, this was the next Gundam, Immortal Justice Gundam. And apparently the anime series this is from is called Mobile Suit Gundam Seed. There's apparently a couple of sub-series. There's one called Freedom, which has the Rising Freedom in it. It seems to be geared for 10 to 14-year-olds is my guess. So it looks like it's got a lot of the similar stuff here. So definitely the same series. Looks like it's fewer pieces, though. I could be wrong on that. Probably am. Let's see. Looks like this one's got a fold-out instruction set. Okay. They're both apparently HG scale. I got a hard out in about 20 minutes, so okay. Let's see. Parts list. Okay. All right. Those look like they're actually sealed in. No unfold thing on it. So AC9, BA 1 and 2. All right. Oops. There we go. Nip there. Nip there. Nip there. Nip. Nip. And nip. Sounds like I'm talking about catnip. All right. And I don't think I'm going to stream tomorrow. What I'm going to work on that day is I'm going to try and get the, I've got an order for about 8 Tama and get those done. All right, I believe these clip things are the ones that go underneath. So let's clip these out. Whoops. Just knock that on the floor. That's probably not a good thing to do. All right, and try to get these nipped out before I get started putting them together. I'm going to quickly catch up with chat since I see there's been a few more. Okay, let's see. Gwen says, "Hey, Mary, glad you could join us." Oh, it says, "Glad you could join us." I don't think that's quite what's meant. It looks like autocorrect struck again, or autocorrect. Join, yep. Gwen says, "Stupid autocorrect," yep. And Gwen says, "Caution, 23 takes all precautions with sharp stuff." And Mary says, "Hey, Gwen." Mary says, "Back at the gym after 5 months. I lost everything that I gained. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully you'll gain it back quicker this time." And Gwen says, "Torin Runkle goes live at 8 p.m. tonight," which looks like it's just a couple minutes ago. All right, Gwen says, "Oh, that's rough." And Gwen says, "Please hit the like button, double check your subscriptions, and ring that bell." And Mary says, "Going to fill it tomorrow." And Gwen says, "Ah, again." All right, so let's see. It looks like we can orient these in any way we want. And then we just put these clips in like that, I believe. Yep, that looks like the way they're supposed to go. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to switch out glasses real quick. And all right, so let's see. Okay, do not cut. That's what that means. All right, so ACB 4B, 3 and 25. That's 4A, 4B. All right, so I can 3 and 20, 3 and 25. Okay, that's 25. And there is 3. Oh, 26 and 25. 3 is the step on it. Okay. That makes sense. Because I definitely wasn't finding that part. All right. And I also need 23 and 29. 23 does not get cut. Oh, okay. I see what they're saying. You can cut it out, but it's saying don't cut off this part that might look like it's a sprue or a whatnot. All right. It's basically saying be careful what you cut off and don't cut off the part that's actually part of the part. Okay, and 29. Okay, it looks like there's two 29s. All right, so okay, so this one goes through here like this. And this one goes here. Okay, that's a lock thing here, so you can lock your pivot. It's useful. And then these parts go together. So yeah, you can do it like this, and when you want to lock it, you press that in and it won't turn. And Gwen says, I'm at 8:30. Okay. And Gwen says, it hasn't been that kind of day today. And Melee says, Gwen, sending you hugs. And Gwen says, thanks. And Gwen says it's good that they give you that instruction. They were using the symbol in the other one, but I didn't see where it said specifically what it was. All right, so we need, next is another 23, 29, and 26 and 27. All right, so 27 and 28 look like 26 and 27. Now, this is a relatively universal base. Fortunately, it was like $10, and there were some for $8, depending on what you were getting. So hopefully it won't be too much of an issue. Okay. And 23. There we go. So this goes through there. This goes here. Oops. Okay. And that goes together like that. All right. Over there. Then we've got 3, 24, 24, and 2. So 3 and 2 are from the A sprue. Oops, 3 and 2. And 2 24s. Okay. All right. So we got 24 there. And I think I've talked about it a long time ago, where Facebook tends to be frustrating for me when I try and ask technical questions, because I usually phrase it, in a fair amount of detail, like I want to do A and B, not C, D, or E, and I know it's possible. Has anybody done it, and how did you do it? And I tend to get responses back. Well, have you tried C, E, or D? And it just gets really frustrating after a while. All right, so like that. This one goes there. This one goes there. All right. And 15 and 16. Okay. These two here. So anyway, I was talking about wanting to get the Snapmaker U1 as my next printer if I get enough work to where it actually makes sense to get a second printer. And I was saying, is there any reason I shouldn't do it, given that I do not want to go into the Bamboo ecosystem, since I do not like the fact that Bamboo is not open source, and I prefer a little more configurability in my stuff. And like 3 of the responses out of the 5 I got were, have you considered this Bamboo? And it's like, it's not the specific model, it's their ecosystem. All right, so A, 5 and 6, and B is 14. So go, got 5 and 6 here. There we go. All righty. Oh, while I'm thinking about it, the last time I redirected to Ian's stream, there was apparently a relatively new person on there who wanted to know who I was because they were interested in um, who it was that people were greeting with. I think it was like such joy or whatever, or something along those lines. So that kind of made my day. All right, so 14, which I believe is this one. Yep. Okay. So the way this works is this orientation. Ah, I see. It's got a keyed entryway. There we go. Put that all the way on. I'll give that key. Well, at least it's easier for me to pick stuff off the floor these days. Okay, where's the key there? There's the key. And orient it. There. Ah! Crap. That broke. That's annoying. I'll try and glue that afterwards. But I think this is like it holds it around the body. Okay. There's several different U-shaped holders. which I'm not going to worry about at the moment. All right, so these believe this is the orientation they're supposed to go. All right. Okay, there's a couple different ways this can go, but basically, all right, so that's ACB 21. All right, so let's see. Okay, so base is there, that goes there. Okay. Let's see which way is the articulation going. Okay, so lock that in there. Okay. So it's open there, locked there, and uses 17, which is this one here. So you've got locks in like that. You got different spots so you can control how high or low it is. You can get it like way down like that. Locks into the little grooves here. And then okay. It's good to go there. All right, so I think that's going to be it for tonight. I'm pretty much out of time. I got my part out. And it should be just about time to redirect to Runkle, so let me go ahead and do that. All right. Let's see. Gwen says this is a different one now. It's a base for the one that I've already built, hopefully. And Gwen says, I usually announce in chat that we're rating for your channel. Thank you for that. And Erica says, hello, Torn, Gwen, Melee. And Melee says, I love when new people learn about you. And Melee says, Erica, how are you? Hey, how are you doing? Gwen says, Erica Olson, hello. Erica says, fair, how are you all? Well, I'm doing reasonably well here. Gwen says, I was having a pretty good day. Erica says, was. Melee says, doing good. I have a week off from work. Hey, congrats on that, Melee. And Melee says, lol, Gwen. And Erica says, that sounds pretty good. Gwen says, yeah, Auto Carrot has struck me a few times in chat tonight. Gwen says, Erica says, lol. And Gwen says, before that was pretty good. I successfully made sourdough English muffin using my starter. It was good. Hey, congrats on that. Erica says, yum. Melee says, nice, Gwen. And Melee says, thanks for the stream. And Gwen says, yep, I'm glad it turned out good. Well, except for the broken part, but I should be able to glue that. If nothing else, I can build up some epoxy on the other side. Let me go ahead and All right, let's go to customization. Let's see if it's showing me people available now. All right. Yep, I see Ian's there. I know he's not live yet. Let me go ahead and save that. All righty. So it was good to have you folks on. I will probably not have a stream tomorrow. I probably will have one Wednesday, but not 100% certain. Thanks again for stopping in. As always, everybody, stay safe and happy braiding.